Saskatchewan elk hunters are expressing their thoughts on the province expanding the elk hunt into March. Rebecca Russell has been an avid elk hunter since childhood, but she says she's discouraged by the decision.
I kind of understand of why they're doing it. It's just I don't agree when they're doing it because the elk are like a couple weeks with giving birth.
The provincial government says selling elk licenses this month will address damage to crops and allow it to track outbreaks of tuberculosis in elk herds. The hunt is only being expanded into 3 hunting zones, 2 in southeast Saskatchewan and 1 just north of Saskatoon. But even that's too much for Animal Justice, an animal rights group. It says that hunting pregnant elk violates Saskatchewan's Animal Protection Act, which has strict guidelines for reasonable hunting practices.
It's really runs in the face of the rule of law to then expand the goalposts all of a sudden and say, just because some folks want to shoot elk in the spring, suddenly we're going to consider that to also be reasonable and generally accepted. It's just not. That's not how the law works.
It's also a problem for the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations, which represents 74 First Nations across the province. It says that the hunt is irresponsible and culturally insensitive.
It's hard to put into words, but you just don't do that. You don't go and kill babies that are in the tummies of sacred animals, such as the elk.
In a statement, the provincial government acknowledges the opposition, but repeated the risk that bovine tuberculosis poses to herd animals, and that hunters are required to send samples for testing.
Time is of the essence.
Ryan Brook from the University of Saskatchewan says he understands the reasoning behind the decision. Brook says a tuberculosis outbreak, which can spread between wild elk and cattle herds, could devastate farmers.
At the end of the day, we also have to balance off the fact that these cattle farmers have a risk of losing their livelihood.
What that balance will be remains to be seen. For now, the elk hunt will continue until the end of the month. Chris Edwards, CBC News, Regina.